In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else: your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
First down and 10 at their own 10-yard line. Tevin Coleman with some running room. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman, one man to beat. Tevin Coleman's going to go 90 yards, and Indiana takes the lead. Randos scrambles, stalled off the pitch, keeps it himself down the sidelines. He could go. Antoine Randall, touchdown.
Rourke going to the single coverage, end zone. Touchdown! He hits Cooper again.
Welcome to episode 261. It's the game recap of week 1, the W over Old Dominion, 27-14. The Hoosiers are 1-0 despite everybody's lackluster approval of the win. We are here to pep everybody's step, and without Seth, it should help quite a bit. And so it's just me and Brandon today, everybody's favorites. Brando, what's up? Are you going to help me make people feel better?
I mean, yes and no. I'm not going to be negative on the Hoosiers because it's August football. When you have a team that has aspirations to play in December and January, you cannot get wrapped up about August football.
Yep. Okay, so for those of you that are joining us for a first game recap ever, right? So what we kind of do is we'll give you the score. Right? We introduced now a stat of the game or stats of the game. Then we'll do a headline, kind of like a column style thing that both of us kind of come up with on our own. We'll look at what we call the IU football marketplace. So we'll give kind of either a position group, individual player, something to do offense and defense, and we'll do stock up and stock down. Does not mean that we hate or love either one of the players. We love everybody on the team and all the coaches. We just think maybe they had a bad day, and we want to tell you about it. And then we'll do some randos. No sack today, maybe some final thoughts if needed, and then we'll get out of here. But this one will be pretty quick. So I'd like to give my thoughts at some point about the game and the atmosphere, but let me get that done after stat of the game. Let's do that. So again, we're here talking about IU 24, Old Dominion 14, 1-0 on the season. Game 1 win. Stat of the game, Brandon, which was interesting and it blew me away and kind of feeds into what I'll talk about stock up and on my headline is time of possession. IU had 41 minutes and 28 seconds to Old Dominion's 18 minutes. So it was a all right. I guess I'll transition right into what I thought about the game and kind of the atmosphere. It was a lackluster game in a what turned out to be a lackluster atmosphere in a beautiful day outside. But it seemed like after one season of making the college football playoff that week, we just expected to win games now. And the crowd felt like that. The post-game stuff felt like that. We did win. Some people, if you just jumped in mid phone calls on the way home, you'd think that we lost the game. I'm pretty comfortable with what happened on Saturday. I'm interested to hear what you have, or if you have anything that stood out to you game-wise, stat-wise, anything like that.
I like this kind of to start things off with kind of your new layout here with box score. If you didn't know the score, right? If you blurred out the score, and you said IU had 29 first downs. Okay. That is 7 first downs a quarter. That means you're getting a first down every 2 minutes. I'd say that must be pretty good play calling. You went 10 for 17 on third down. I'd say pretty good play calling. Over 500 total yards. I think you'd say that's pretty good, right? Only 3 penalties. Pretty good. You already brought up the time of possession, over doubled them. I think people are getting lost in the score and seeing it at a macro level and not a micro level. They did not have an offensive. This is the stat that blew my mind. They did not have an offensive snap across the 50.
Yep.
We're really only talking about 4 or 5 plays.
Yeah.
Couple red zones, 2 big runs, a BB fumble. That's the only thing stopping this from being 50-0.
Yeah.
50. I'm not even joking. Like, it legitimately.
It's not. And I'll talk about it. We're going to get into it. Yeah, exactly. How we get to 50, but go ahead.
It was just, the discourse was weird because you're right. There was just so much damn negativity. And I'm like, guys, I don't know. I don't have it on this box score, but let's say there was 75 plays on offense and defense. We're talking about 70 of them were extremely positive. +2 in the turnovers, 3 interceptions. The secondary looks freaking amazing.
Outside of one play that we'll talk about, but it's not against the pass. It looked great. Yes. Continue.
But everyone just sees 27-14 and not a cover, and absolutely pandemonium. So my thoughts are, I mean, this game, 70 out of 75 plays are awesome. Absolutely kicked their ass in everything but the score. So yeah, I mean, Sig's not happy. I don't think the team's happy. Good. You know that GIF, good.
Good.
I think this might have been, like, if we're in 2 months, in October, I think this may have been the best thing to happen to IU to humble them a little bit. They need to play a perfect game. They did not. They played a nearly perfect game, but not quite. And I think those actually have learning opportunities.
Yeah, so I went to go find the plays. I thought that was a pretty easy thing to find, but apparently maybe they've taken them off of ESPN or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you could do a bunch of things, right? You look at 502 yards, right? We knew that we weren't going to see a ton of like down the field passing or like big passing schemes. You saw a lot of short outs or some slants.
Said it was going to be vanilla.
He did throw the ball 32 times, but not like crazy, right? He threw 6 yards of pass. So it wasn't like he was going downfield outside of one time, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Didn't throw the ball away at all. Didn't have any interceptions at all. We ran for 309 yards on 5.4 yards a carry. Here's the fun part, right? And the part that a lot of people, the realists will say, well, you can't look at the game like that, but you kind of can, right? I'm going to start with my headline, and my headline is, it's the first game, calm down. Like that, it's how many people looked bad? Tell me Alabama looks good. Tell me Tennessee's happy with going into a bad Syracuse team this year and giving up 24 points or whatever they gave up. Tell me about how Michigan State felt about their entire second half against Western Michigan, where I'm pretty sure they didn't get a first down, right? Like, there's a lot of teams that use these first games outside of Alabama as an essential. Basically, Robert Smith, I got through most of the game today. Robert Smith, who I'm not a huge fan of, on the TV broadcast said, college football teams don't get preseason games. So they can work out as many kinks and everything they want to work out against each other. But when you play a totally different team, and totally different personnel, and totally different scheme, some of this stuff doesn't work, right? Yep. And so the best way to figure that out is to play a team such as ODU or anybody. Literally, you just have to play somebody. You figure it out. I think the next 2 weeks, you might see 150 points put up. combined. But that's just because Sig is who Sig is. But I think
I'm not worried about
chill.
the offense. I'm more worried about the 2 plays on defense. Everyone wants to freak out about the red zone offense. They're not playing with their game script. They're not.
No.
They're not even practicing these plays that they're running against ODU. Right? Yeah. They're not implementing their offense in these games at all. So in my mind, like, these games are glorified pickup games, right? It's those defensive breakdowns, because there's a lot of Colton Josephs that play. Now, he was good. He could run. They're going to see players like that on every sideline in Big Ten play.
Yeah.
That is my worry. It's like, this Colton Joseph isn't just like a one of a kind. Oregon's going to have him. Illinois is going to have him. Again, every single Big Ten team will have multiple Colton Joseph. So that was more my, like, the offense. I'm fine with the offense. It is what it is.
Yep. So here's my thought on that. I went back and I very specifically picked out those 2 touchdown runs, and I watched. I'm trying to think the individual players. I don't want to give too much away. I watched the linebacking core on the first play of the game. I watched whatever Lewis Moore was doing during that first play of the game, where it literally looked like he was just watching him. He was kind of striding along with him and just watching him. And he goes, oh, he's got the ball. And then he just kind of turns his head and he's gone. So what happened was, at least on the first play and on the second play, honestly, the second big one, we got sucked so hard in. Like, and I hate to say that it was Hardy, but it was definitely Hardy on the first play. The second play, you could kind of go a couple different ways, but they sucked both linebackers, the entire right side of the defense, the entire defensive line, right towards that running back on. It was a power read option where the quarterback goes up the middle, and it just split wide open, right? But then you should have your left linebacker and you should have a safety sitting there. We had a safety sitting there who he fell down. Like, I don't know what he was doing. It was a miscommunication, a misread. But again, we are podcasters who don't make millions of money to teach these kids what to do. And there was one.
We just don't make millions of money in general.
No, we don't do that. We just don't do that. What was the one person we talked about over and over and over and over again in that preview? And it was Colton Joseph, and he beat you 2 times. These are learning things. It's a scheme thing. It's a mental thing. Hey, you got to stay home. This is why you got burned. You got to stay home. This is why you got burned. The rest of the game, they didn't do anything.
Can I give you the only negative that I think came out of this game before we get into headlines and marketplace?
What's that?
The backups really didn't get a play.
Ooh, I saw one backup that I really liked, I thought. Well, what we considered a backup. I thought Isaiah Jones played. Well, we'll get there. Maybe. But yeah, I get you. Yeah, I think the next 2 weeks, and now Kennesaw State gave Wake Forest a hell of a run for their money on Saturday. But I think the next 2 weeks you'll have your get right games and your depth games as well. So I agree with you. That's a great point. What's your headline? What do you got?
So yeah, I mean, mine is IU dominates the box score, but not the scoreboard. I mean, I've said it many times. I had some cheesy ones. I have the good, the bad, and the ugly. I had just above the Mendoza line, but those were more negative than I wanted them to be. So I just went vanilla.
Well, dude, that's good enough. You know, it's better than what Seth would have come up with probably. So let's get into the marketplace. Let's start stock down. We'll kind of finish on a positive. Yeah. I never do this. I want to go first on this one.
Yeah.
On offense, I didn't point out a single individual player. I just put the execution down, which we've already talked about. And the only reason I want to talk about this, couldn't score from the 1, didn't score from the 4. And I will put money on this. Our most sure-handed wide receiver on the team, who made an insane catch a little bit later in the game
for 45 yards.
Drops a walk-in touchdown. Doesn't happen. So you have 21 points right there. You missed a field goal, whatever this changing kickers thing is. We'll see how it goes the rest of the season. But You lost a yard on third down. You missed the kick by a yard, right? So you just take the kick out. Doesn't matter. It's 21 points. It's 48-14, and you're feeling a hell of a lot better, right? None of those negativity. And this isn't even like a, well, if this would have bounced that way, or if we would have bounced this way. No, it's IU, Old Dominion. There's no reason why we shouldn't have scored from the 1 or the 4 yard line. And Omar Cooper will not drop that pass the rest of the season. Mark my words, take the receipts, whatever you want to do. Should have been 51 or 48-14. It's not that deep, guys. What's your stock down?
Yeah, so my stock down is on the offensive side is just Surratt. If everyone's ripping Mendoza, if Omar catches that ball, Mendoza throws for 260, runs for 30. So like 300 total yards
and 2 touchdowns if he catches.
And I'm supposed to be mad at
he
that.
He ran for 1 and threw 1.
And I'm not worried about Omar, and I'm not worried about Shanahan. The only thing that I'm going to rip is just red zone offense. Because if you remember going into the half, remember IU got shut down at the 1 again against Nebraska? You remember that? It ended up not mattering.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't.
So if I'm going to rip Shanahan, it's we have Holden Stays. We have Surratt. We can't just keep running right up the middle. I don't know. Yeah. They just were not creative plays at all. I love the read option with Mendoza running in. That was a nifty play call. So my stock down is red zone offense.
Yes.
And then I do have a defensive player stock down.
Yeah. And that
and it's
interested to hear this one. I'll let you go first.
It's Mikel Kamara. He was just absolutely a ghost. Again, I don't know. Is it maybe because the defensive scheme wasn't into either? Probably. But you would have just thought, hey, this is pickup basketball. Usually the best athletes look the best. And Kamara's a freak. So yeah, I'm gonna say stock down on a All-American. Not doing what Seth called it, stat chasing. That definitely didn't chase any stats in this one. And again, like you always say, that does not mean I dislike the player. Does not mean I think he's a bad player. His stock was about as high as it could go. And unfortunately, because of his no-show, it's down. So as far as stock up on offense, I'd say the road graders, the entire offensive line, the PFF grades are out. And it was incredible. I think the lowest one was Pat Coogan with like an 83. The offensive line looked incredible. EJ Williams being so involved was amazing. So offensive line and EJ Williams are definitely guys that stock is up. And then defense, again, kind of the secondary. And then Jonathan Brady, again, that punt return was awesome. I didn't really know who would be returning punts or if we'd be any threat to score. So getting a special teams touchdown early in the game, early in the year, can really build momentum for this team. So again, that's just kind of what we do for IU Football Marketplace. But for now, let's jump to a quick promo before we get into revisiting predictions.
Yeah. So sorry, guys. I don't know. I have no idea what just happened, but I'm back. I think. Missed a lot of what you said. I'll go quick. Defensive scheme I had in there stock down. The only reason I had that, it's the same thing as the offense. Super vanilla defensive scheme. You didn't see a whole lot of blitzing. You didn't see a whole lot of crazy things. I think seeing Isaiah Jones out there, 3 linebacker package, was a little bit different than what we had seen the previous year. Stock up on offense. I didn't hear what you said. EJ Williams, great game. He was number 2 for me. I had Hemby and Black combined. I don't know if you talked about them or not. 203 rushing yards, 5.1 yards a carry, and a touchdown. I thought Hemby looked really good. I thought Black looked really good. I thought he kind of what we assume with him was kind of that explosive speed, and I didn't see it on that one breakout run that he had. I thought Hemby kind of had more of that speed. Black was more of that punisher, which will take that 1-2 punch. We'll take that kind of Ellison Lawton thing again. I'll do that all day. And then on defense, Isaiah Jones. I don't know if you talked about him or not. Sorry, I cut out. I'm sure Brandon was just spitting facts, spitting games, spitting facts. He had one Oh, he didn't. Okay. So he's the only one that really, in my opinion, provided any sort of pressure on the defense. He had a sack, TFL. He had 4 total tackles, not a ton of involvement. And then here's the other thing I wanted to bring up before we kind of got in there, Brandon, before we move on real quick to the rest of the show. But if I were to say something to you like this, our quarterback goes 15 to 24 for 180 yards, 180 yards, 1 touchdown. We run the ball for 200 yards, 230 yards, which is less than what we ran the ball last week.
Yep.
Elijah Surratt has 2 catches for 12 yards. And we also had our quarterback fumble 2 times. Didn't lose it, but fumbled twice. That was game 1 last season.
Yes.
31-7.
Yes.
Against FIU, who's a very similar opponent to ODU. Their quarterback went off. Their quarterback was 20 to 29, 129 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception. Again, defense forced 3 picks. And they weren't fluke picks. One of them was thrown behind, and my boy was right there. And the other 2, one of them was
right where he left off, the league leader or the team leader in interceptions last year, already on the board.
That's right. And one was a tip, or maybe the other 2 might have been tip balls, but they were beautiful, beautiful interceptions. Good job. All right, let's move on. Sorry about that, guys. It's weird. Hopefully everything comes across and recorded and everything else, or else I'm going to be doing it by myself. All right, yeah. Give us just a second. We'll be right back, and we'll do revisit of predictions and some randos. This episode is brought to you by your go-to expert in the Indiana real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in a home right here in the heart of the Hoosier country, Garrett Lawton with True Blood Real Estate is the agent that you need. He's not just a real estate agent, he's a Hoosier fan just like you. And Garrett knows Indiana inside and out, from Bloomington to Indianapolis and everywhere in between. Plus, his personalized service makes the buying and selling process smooth and stress-free. So if you're ready to make a move, give Garrett a call at 317-410-8851 or visit his website at lawton-realty.com. Welcome back to the more disjointed pod than the actual football game was that we're talking about. We are here to revisit predictions. Seth said IU 45-10. Had we scored 51 points, they were 48. That would have been pretty good. I said 42-10. Brandon said 37-7. Nobody was really that close, but Brandon wins just based off of total points. Congratulations.
Because someone has to. Because somebody has to.
Yes, everybody congratulate Brandon wherever you see him in the comments.
I don't even want to win in this.
I know. You never win, which, good for you. Usually you win on the losses. So congratulations, you won on a win. Let's get your randos.
Yeah. So, what did you think about the first week outside of IU, outside of the Big Ten? I was wrong on everything. I didn't get a single thing right about this past weekend. Good thing I'm not gambling anymore.
Exactly. So I found a loophole. I found a week 1 loophole that I think I'll do the rest of my life, and maybe even run this out through at least some of the weaker non-conference matchups, right, against bigger teams. Defense, special teams, anytime touchdown. I won, I don't know, $150 over 3 games just betting that.
Awesome.
Including IU, which I missed. I missed the punt return. I was in line getting my kids some stuff. Missed that one. But yeah, I put one on South Carolina just randomly yesterday, just before we left the house, and didn't watch any of the game. Just checked it when it was done, and that's a good one. But no, I don't think I've had enough time to really watch. Friday I had a lot of time, but Saturday the whole day was gone. pretty much. That 2:30 will eat your entire day. Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, the highlight games, right? Texas, Ohio State, that was really the only big one I got to kind of see and follow, and that was kind of a dud.
It was not a good game, no. But I mean, I thought Texas was going to win. I mean, they brought back a lot of production. Obviously, Arch Manning, freshman quarterback with Ohio State. Yeah. And he was the best quarterback. So I was wrong on that one. I was wrong with what was the other? LSU Clemson. I was wrong.
Yeah, how did that go? I didn't even see the score of that game. How'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, both quarterbacks just struggled.
Yeah, it's week 1, guys. It's week 1. Like, sure, USC's quarterback had a good week, right? But go ask Northwestern how they're doing. They got stomped by Tulane in Tulane. Tulane, guys. We love Tulane, but it's your Power 4 conference team. There's no business doing that. Go ask, I don't know. Go ask some of the other crap teams, right? So Alabama, ask them how they're feeling right now. Anybody have any sort of faith in Florida State going into that game? No chance. Nope. So
I think that's all my randos. Like I don't think we need to talk much about this. And I think that rolls right into my statement. It's week 1. It's August football. I said at the start, I'll say it here at the end. When you have December and January aspirations, man, you cannot get worked up about August. You just can't. Colleges don't get preseason games, right? You don't get exhibition games. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important. And also, again, people were ripping the offense. There's not a single play that we ran that will be called during the Illinois game. Not a single one.
No. Some of the running games, some of the running plays, maybe, because those are pretty good. But 100%, dude. It's going to be more complicated. Here's what I think it kind of boils down to is I've stressed it enough. You just said it. It's week 1. It's essentially a preseason game, a game where you get to play somebody else and kind of figure out what you're missing, what you need, what's wrong, who missed what, where, get right, right? So here's my only warning, I guess. If we come out flat against Kennesaw State, it's gonna be a nightmare for me. Like, that's all I'm going to say. Like, I'm not gonna hear the end of it from people. I mean, the stadium's gonna start murmuring. You're gonna have. Oh, we should talk about this. Stay in your seats, guys. Like, what are you doing? The students were pouring out. Like, it looked like any other year other than last season. It was nice. It was a nice day, but it was a little bit hot, I guess, if you're sitting on the other side of the stadium. But no, I would say just roll with it, man. I think we've got a really good team. We've got really, really strong pieces everywhere across the board. Check back next week. I mean, that's another game where you get to see where you really line up and hopefully worked out some of those kinks from this one. So anything else you want to add on this?
That's all I got, man.
Yeah, we're wrapping this one up pretty quick. So be sure to check out the pod on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Happy Hour IUFB. Be sure to download, rate, review, follow, all that good stuff on our platforms. Let us know if we're missing something. If you guys usually listen to podcasts somewhere and we're not there, just let us know. We'll always make that work for you. And then, we'll be back in a few days to preview the matchup against Kennesaw State. So until then, I'm going to go check out what kind of crap fantasy football team I put together while managing 3 children, their bedtimes, and this podcast. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Peace.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.